The Quarry is the fourth episode of the second season of The Middle. This is directed by Shallat Chemel, and as always there will be spoilers as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And I quite like this one, and it might be one of my favourite Axel-based episodes. I don't think it would ever be an all-time favourite, but certainly Axel's part in this I really liked, and I'll talk about each of the parts of the main narrative in turn, but I will come to Axel's last since that's my favourite. We also have part of the narrative focusing on Sue and Frankie, and partly on Brick. Brick's, well, he's found a magic kit that Frankie thought she'd gotten rid of, and she'd had to put up with Axel trying to do tricks, and Sue trying to do tricks, and now Brick is trying to do tricks. And as I said, there are spoilers in this discussion, and he ultimately accidentally loses the TV remote, which is a big deal because they're not going to be able to change the channel properly. And that part of the story concludes actually in a way that I did find quite entertaining. This is mostly fluff to support the main narrative, but I did like it when Mike came home with the universal remote and he made a big thing of saying that once it's out of the packaging, once it's opened, he can't return it. He opens it, and all we hear is Brick saying that he's found the other remote. I rather like that a lot. Sue comes home and says that they're going to have to cut some sports or activities at school, and she's worried it's going to be cross-country. So she and Frankie go to the meeting about this, and Frankie is panicking because she'd kind of prayed that cross-country would go away, because it's a lot. There are a lot of things that she has to do as a parent, and she's not enjoying it. But she's also feeling guilty because she's prayed that her daughter's only activity is going to get taken away. And I'd say this is a really unpredictable episode because Sue stands up and gives this speech about how great cross-country is and asks them to not cross-country because cross-country wouldn't cut you, because it is a no-cut sport. And honestly, it was very convincing. And they all vote pretty much unanimously to cut cross-country. The only thing I will say about that is that I'm looking forward to seeing Sue in other clothing, which might sound strange, but I love the colour of the cross-country sweatshirt, but it's starting to get really boring. So I think that's a pretty good thing. But I will, I guess, miss the colour of the cross-country shirt. Also, this means that Sue might try out for other things. I've seen the show before, but I don't remember exactly what happens next over the next few episodes, so I'm looking forward to rediscovering that. It's not a bad part of the episode, and as I said, not completely predictable either. Axel's part, I rather enjoyed. It seemed like Axel was skipping school. He went to the place where Mike has lunch, and Mike saw him. Axel didn't mean for him to see him. But it turns out he wasn't skipping school necessarily. He'd been suspended. And he hadn't told his parents. He just signed the form himself, and he thought he'd get away with it. And Mike decides that he'll take him to the quarry. And he does, and to begin with, Axel's making a lot of noise, causing a lot of problems, generally being a nuisance, and getting in Mike's way. So Mike decides that the guys can take him down the hole. And actually, it was really sweet. Axel saw how hard they were working, and it was a really great learning opportunity for him. And I genuinely think he got a lot out of it, and I thought it was very well done. And Mike explained to him he doesn't want to just finish school and join the quarry. He wants him to have options, and I love that. I think that's a brilliant attitude to have as a parent. I feel like telling your child you must go to this college or you must go to this university or you must join this workforce, and preparing them for that is a pretty surefire way that they're going to rebel against you. But encouraging them to give themselves options, I think that that's pretty brilliant, and I really like that. And we had some really nice moments between Mike and Axel, and it was really lovely to see. We don't often see much of Mike and Axel together, or when we do, they're usually, well, not necessarily arguing. Axel's usually just whinging and Mike is telling him to do something, so it was nice. I really liked it. I thought it was very well done, and it was nice to see some different sides to Axel as well. In all, The Quarry is a really brilliant episode. I don't think I have any personal highlights. I guess Sue's speech, not just because it was well written and delivered, but because it didn't go the way I was expecting. The moment Brick found the remote, and just Mike and Axel in general. Definitely a pretty decent episode of The Middle, and one that I'm very happy with.